In this video, we will look at Act 2 and Act 2 Scene 2 of the play The Alchemist by Ben Jonson. Act 2 Scene 2 begins with Face, who enters dressing himself as Subtle's assistant. And Mammon is also there, and he's very curious to know whether the Philosopher's Stone is ready or not. And he's informed by Face that it will be prepared very soon because Subtle has almost reached the final stages of transmutation, and therefore in just 3 hours he will be able to see the projection. So projection here means that when base metals are transmuted into gold, that very process is called projection. So Mammon's greed is already seen that but one thing that bothers him here is that he cannot understand that whether there will be enough metal in the city of London to satisfy his desire for gold, and how he is going to get all metals to get them transmuted into gold. And then we see in this act that Mammon tells Face that what are the desires that he wants to fulfill once he receives the Philosopher's Stone. So this scene also focuses on Mammon's desires, which once again presents him as a lecherous knight. So he says that once he gets the Philosopher's Stone, and he will have a lots of wives and concubines, which means mistresses, just like Solomon, King Solomon. Not only that, he will also become as strong as Hercules with this elixir of life, so that he can bed with 50 women a night. So this very line he says that for I do mean to have a list of wives and concubines equal with Solomon, and with the elixir that shall be as tough. So I will be as strong as Hercules to encounter 50 a night. So 50 a night means 50 women a night. That the art is sure, thou sawest its blood. So he's continuously confirming by asking Face whether the stone is ready or not. So now this point, this very passage throws light on his sexual desires, that he would like to have a lot of sex with 50 women each night. And then in the next passage he also says that how he is going to have a lot of mirrors in his room in order to reflect his naked body as he walks through his the presence of succubae, which means prostitutes. As I walk naked between my succubae. And not only that, he also describes that his bedroom will have the shape of an egg, and he will fill it with such pictures as Tiberius took, which means he is going to have comfortable beds, and he will also fill his home with expensive art. So this part therefore highlights how much he wishes to live a luxurious life. Not only that, he will also get his rooms perfumed, and he's also going to involve himself in adultery. Another important thing which is to be noted in this scene is that Face tries to explain to Mammon in order to win his favor or in order to gain more money from him, that how hard he has been working to serve him, and he has been working so hard only to appease, only to satisfy Epicure Mammon. And he says that he also informs him, to make Mammon believe in the process, that in the process of preparing the philosopher's stone, that he has also been watching the different colors of the various stages of the experiment. So basically what he is trying to do, he is trying to make Mammon believe more and more in their experiments and not to suspect them at all. So then we after that we see in the next passage where Mammon elaborately talks about his desires for food. So he continues to list everything that he's going to do, and he says that we will be brave, puff, now we have got the medicine. So he says that one, because we are going to have the stone, the medicine, the philosopher's stone soon, so we will be very, very rich. And then he says that he will have his meat served in Indian shells, dishes which of agate, which will be set in gold and studded, which means he wants his food to be served in very expensive plates. Then he makes a uh, then he talks about a list of food that he would like to have, like the tongues of calves, dormice, camels' heels, which will be served to him. Apart from that, he talks about, he also refers to Epicurus's diet against the epilepsy. So here, Epicurus's diet refers to those people who were great lovers of fine food, and they used to protect themselves by having a certain type of diet from epilepsy. So they wanted to protect themselves from epilepsy by having a certain diet. So here tell in he continues to tell Face what are the things that he would like to have. And then he also says that the kind of he will have a line of flatterers for himself, and the citizens, the eloquent citizens, the poets, the same that read so subtly of the first. So he says he will entertain those people, the eloquent citizens, then the poets, he will entertain them. uh, and then he says that he would give out themselves to be court and town stallions. So basically, this part again, this scene once again throws light on uh, Mammon's desire to have a luxurious life. And Face, in the meantime, he continues to check on Subtle and the stone. After that, we see that he also talks about not only the food, the, the kind of food that he would like to have, but how he would have them served, like I said, dishes made of gold, emeralds, sapphires. And he says that it is not only he who will enjoy good food, but also his foot boy, his servants. Okay, so he also mentions the food that his servants will enjoy, that they will eat different types of birds and fishes. And after that, he talks about that after this kind of food will be served to him, he will also reward his cook with gold and help him become a knight. In the concluding part of the scene, we see Mammon talking about his clothing, his desires for clothing. So he says that he will have his shirts made of soft silk, which will be as light as cobwebs. We all know that cobwebs almost have no weight at all. So he says that he would like to have shirts which will be made of so soft silk that they will be as light as cobwebs. And he says that looking at his clothing, the kind of attire that he will put on, it will provoke the Persians to steal and teach the world how to make or how to make such clothing. And then he also says that he will have gloves made of fishes and bird skins, and he will also perfume them with the scents of paradise. And after that, he talks to Surly. Now, Surly's character as Mammon's friend is very, very significant. So, after he talks about all his desires, all his wishes, Surly asks him, "Do you think to have the stone with this? So, along with this luxury, do you think that you are going to fulfill all this with the stone?" And Mammon says, "Yes, these luxuries with the stone. I will be able to achieve all these luxuries with the philosopher's stone." And then here Surly makes a very important comment where he says that he has heard that the one who practices alchemy must be a very pure person, must be pious, and they should not have any material ambition, which means that they should not have any greed for money, okay, which is a requirement according to him for carrying out the alchemical process. So this means that this alchemical process requires someone who has a pure soul. So he says, a pious, holy and religious man, one free from mortal sin, a very virgin. So he should be free from worldly gains. So this is very ironical, because as readers we know that subtle is in no way free from sin, and subtle is no way a pure soul. But Mammon has so much faith in face and subtle that he assures, he convinces his friend Surly that yes, subtle is indeed a pure soul. He's a good man, and he continues to praise subtle, and he says that that is why he is going to get the buy the philosopher's stone from him, because uh, he is such a pure man that it is that purity is what the stone brings. Okay, so Mammon continues to praise Subtle, and he says that he is honest, he has a good soul, and in fact he has been working very hard. In fact, he has made his slippers poor, he has worn out his knees, and he has been praying for the success of this experiment. And then he requests Surly that let him do it alone for me still. So he wants Subtle to do this, to pray for the success of the experiment and everything only for him. And then he immediately tells Surly that look, he is coming, here he comes, so I don't want you to speak anything that can that can offend him. So he is asked not to utter any word which will express his contempt for alchemy. So with this we come to the end of Act 2, Scene 2. So this scene therefore throws light not only on Epicure Mammon's excessive desire for a luxurious and lecherous life, not only how he intends to transmute all the metals into gold, his greed for gold, but at the same time it also presents him as a gullible man. That how he is so desperate to get himself fooled by these two con artists, Subtle and Face. But Surly, on the other hand, is presented as a foil to Epicure Mammon, because he can clearly see through the plan which Epicure Mammon is unable to. So he tried, so that's why we will see that at every step Surly will keep on questioning Epicure Mammon, and he will also get like looking at the plan, looking at the way subtle, looking at the way Subtle and Face will try to convince him in the process. He will try to warn his friend, try to make him aware that he is being fooled by these two men. So Surly is presented by Jonson as someone who does not believe subtle and face at all, and he is the one who can clearly see through their plan to fool Epicure Mammon and extract money from him as much as possible. So with this we come to the end of the analysis of Act 2, Scene 2. So in this scene, once again, the theme of greed, gullibility of mankind, and how excessive greed blinds human beings and makes them subject to foolery is clearly presented through the actions of Epicure Mammon. So I hope you liked the lecture and you understood it. So if you really find it helpful, do like it, share it, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Until then, goodbye.